So within Extreme and within Cloud IQ, we absolutely make sure that things like our Copilot integration that use ML and AI are obeying and actually are part of our certification process for both ISO standards and the SOC 2, as well as our upcoming FedRAMP implementations, which is NIST 800-53. So we look at that concept again of security by design, data privacy by design, and then we are very careful to understand what our data are we actually moving into the data lake, how long are we keeping it.
Even if the standards haven't specifically called up and call out AI or ML, you go back to 27001, it talks to the framework of best practice and sort of good intent. At the end of the day, we shouldn't be doing it to get a certificate on the wall. It should be becoming baked into the organization as a philosophy, a sort of a mentality and a way of working. Work at the level of process and sort of concept and ownership, then they've got a fighting chance of being successful. I think if they try and delve into the minutiae of the actual controls and you can do A, B, and you can't do C, D, and E, they're going to lose because the time a certification comes out, technology's moved on. The classic example, today is if you look at the old ISO certificate for 27001, it still talks about USB drives, which clearly are a potential risk, not devaluing the risk. But there's no talk about cloud services, Dropbox or other cloud storage solutions. And that's because just technology has moved on quicker than, there's only so much speed you can have on a certification.
Oh, absolutely, Phil. Yeah, you hit on a really good point there. Is the ISO standards, the actual ones that are management systems, so 27001, 27701, basically anything that ends in a 1, they only revamp them every 5 years. 27001 was done in 2017, and now we have 2022. With AI and ML as well, is you're learning so much data that you may very well know that I'm learning element A and I'm learning element B, and those pieces of data need to be protected because they're personally identifying, or for whatever reason we need to collect them or restrict them. But with AI, we can take that A and B element and get result C, which you weren't expecting, but also could potentially be needed to be privatized and protected. And that can be in number of results from that. And then how long do you retain that data? How do you guarantee that the data is properly purged?
It's clearly going to change the landscape in terms of security controls, because it can be your best friend in giving you sort of exponential sort of resources to try and interpret and understand what's going on. It's more than just the facts of A and B, as Bill alluded to. It's that C, and then is anybody aware of C? And does C now become a fact in its own right?
Well, I think the ML and AI itself, especially the training data, would automatically fall under GDPR and all of the data privacy and protection regulations already. It's the output data that we have to remember. That idea again of A plus B yields C that you weren't expecting. So to make sure that you're accounting for the yielded result of the AI training. And then the piece that people often forget is removing data from training models. Is that if you get a right of erasure request and you remove it from every one of your systems, but somehow your AI model has previously ingested that, you need to also make sure you're actually removing that person, because there's elements of them that still exist.
And I wonder, and obviously different legal systems approach things in terms of precedent differently, but I wonder, does the individual actually own the right to pull that out of the combined aspect of it? Because I've created something new. Do I own that, even though it was based on data from two individuals or an individual? I think there's going to be some pushback, certainly from some large organizations, trying to sort of draw those lines, because taking it the other way, it's a slippery slope. Where does that stop?
So there absolutely will have to be care around things like healthcare information, financial information specifically, and current laws and the current standards for data protection do cover a lot of that stuff.
A car can be useful or it can be dangerous. It's how it's used. And you've got the same analogy with AI ML. It can be a tool of good or a tool of bad. And I think there's going to be some sort of element of, is it used in the correct manner?
That's probably a great way to look at it in the future as we move forward with, especially with SaaS services, is that service authorized to collect, take, or manipulate the data that you're providing it?